Being a student and working full-time can make it pretty difficult to focus, especially since we have a shorter attention span than a goldfish. I mean, you probably already stopped watching this video to be honest. Anyways, as a professional lazy person for over 23 years, I've always found it difficult to focus on important tasks until I learned these 3 tips that help me go from a lazy person to a less lazy person. Alright, okay. Hi, I'm Wen. I'm 23 years old and I currently work at a tech startup, and I'm also a part-time student. I'm too broke to afford full-time tuition and too stubborn to ask for any more financial help. You didn't come to hear my life story, but if you did, make sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date. First off, why am I making this video when there are plenty of productivity YouTubers out there? Well, for me, when I would watch those videos, I would feel super inspired, but when it actually came down to committing to creating all these structures, I always fell flat. So here's a few simple tools that have minimal barrier of entry that have improved my life. Number 1, visual cues. If you're like me, you'll forget the important stuff right when you need it. And let's be honest, if you tell yourself that you're gonna remember it later, you won't. The method I have for this is called dish in front of the doorway. It's kind of embarrassing. Sometimes I would leave a dish in my room and I would try to remind myself to bring it out the next day, but I would always struggle to remember to bring the dish out the next day. Basically what I would do is take a dish and place it in front of the doorway so that the next day there's no way I could possibly get past the dish without remembering to actually take it out. Although you can't necessarily stick everything in front of your doorway, the idea is to make it impossible to avoid, or at least making it really difficult to ignore. Number 2, no pain, no gain, or no pain, no pain? Seriously, you need to keep yourself accountable, and one way that has worked for me is figuring out a pain that I can use to keep myself motivated. For example, you can use this structure: if I don't do X thing, then X thing will happen. And I'm actually using this tip right now. So basically, I've been wanting to start this YouTube channel for a while, but I just haven't gotten the chance to it. AKA, I've been lazy. So my girlfriend wanted to keep me accountable and said this: if you don't make a video by the end of this year, then you owe me $600.
$600?
$600? It's a true story. We have a legally binding contract. Anyways, now that there's potential pain involved, in my case financial pain, I'm more motivated to do it because I don't really want to be $600 poorer. I'm saving up for a house, man. Bruh. Number 3, write it down. I don't care if you write it in your journal, your notes app, or inscribe it on a rock. Get your ideas out of your brain and onto something physical. I used to think that this tip doesn't work, but I've missed enough discussion posts to know that if I don't get my assignment into a calendar or on an app, I'm totally just gonna forget. For me, I use a calendar app and I throw a widget onto my home screen. That way, again, it's really hard to miss. Touching again on tip number 1, visual cues. And it's easy to get your task in so that hopefully you don't forget your next discussion post or whatever else you have coming up. Now, you don't need to use a calendar app if that's not the tool that you use the most. Find something that you use consistently or that you're most comfortable with to put your ideas out there so that hopefully, just hopefully, you don't forget. Bonus tip: avoid visual cues. Wait, you told us to pay attention to visual cues. Like with anything, too much of something may not always be the best thing. Look around and find the things that distract you. Whether that's turning the TV off, going to a quiet room, or kicking your girlfriend out of her own apartment. One thing that helps me a lot is if I have a messy room, I like to clean up everything before I get started because I literally cannot move forward without making sure that everything is clean. Otherwise, I'll just see like garbage in the corner, I'll see my underwear over here, and I start to become easily distracted by these things. Even though it might appear minuscule, it feels better to have a clean space while you're working. To be honest, I think this is one of the reasons why I work better at night, because you see less things. The only thing you can see is your laptop, and there's basically no distractions. But that might just be me. And just like that, you'll go from a lazy person to a less lazy person. I really hope these tips have helped. These tools have genuinely helped myself, and I wanted to share something where you didn't necessarily have to download an app or create a spreadsheet of your micro movements. Just plain consistency and the willingness to be better than your past self. Anyways, that's a wrap for today's video. Let me know if this video helped you at all focus a little bit more. If it didn't, well, it's not my fault you took advice from a stranger. So, will I see you in the next video? If not, that's cool. You're busy or whatever. Subscribe and like. Peace. All right, let's hope that's good enough.